So today I thought I'd make this video because some of you, let's be honest, probably none of you, are probably wondering where I've been or why I haven't posted a course video in, I think, over 2 weeks. I'll come to that in a minute, but I also want to use this video to try and go over some targets I set out over the summer and then talk about some targets over the winter. So a bit of I'll try and make this a bit of an overview for summer and then try and do as little talking for winter just to set things up nicely. But before I actually talk about why, if you could just subscribe to the channel, that would be fantastic. And also, if you could leave one of these on this video, I'd also appreciate it as well. And put it in the comments below why summer golf's the best. Why did I even open with that? You can start with that, but mainly let's talk about what you set out to do over the summer. Was it to break 100? Was it to sink more birdies? Work on a swing? Whatever it is, put it in the comment section below. Let's have a bit of a chat about it. Right, so let's get, it's not so much an elephant in the room, basically, just where have I been? So for the past 2 weeks, I haven't put a video out on the channel. I've been itching to, and I've had to basically cut it down to using YouTube Shorts. It's not a bad thing, I've enjoyed making them, but it's just, well, I hurt my back. So during an hour-long golf lesson where I was making some really good developments with a swing, my back decided just to horrifically go, my lower left back. And I don't know if it was the way I was swinging it because of the change of the swing, I don't know. And the funny thing is, I warmed up before it. As golfers, I just know for a fact, you watching this, do not warm up before any kind of golf activity. I haven't done it until recently, over the last couple of weeks. I know for a fact you don't do it. So it's just funny, the fact that the one time I take the warm-up seriously, I hurt me back. It's great, isn't it? It's a bit of a journey at the minute because I've done nothing apart from rest. And even that's doing my head in now. I can't run, which golf and running's a big deal for me, not just physically, but mentally as well. Like, just clear my head. Well, not golf mentally, because it just absolutely makes us want to lose my temper and snap clubs every time. But for me, I'd set out some things to aim for, to try and break, to try and focus on, not just on a physical aspect, but also on a skill aspect as well. So I figured I'd get the phone and talk about 5 that I set out to do and if I achieved them. The first one was to lower my handicap from, I'm using my phone here because I can't remember them off the top of my head, lower the handicap to 25. So I use the England Golf app, so if you're not familiar with it, it's an app. You register and you become a member and you pay annually. I think it's £40, £45 a year. And if you score 3 cards, it generates a handicap for you. So it saves the hassle of joining a club. I mean, you can if you want to. But also just, you know, if you're new to golf specifically, you don't have to worry about spending loads of money to join a golf club just yet, and it just gives you a handicap so you can work on things. You can't play by yourself, that's the only downside. So it can't give you like an offline handicap, which I wouldn't mind. You've got to play with someone, and you've got to play with someone as you're playing. Yeah, so to lower the hand to 25 was one target, and I didn't quite achieve that. I was just one off. I lowered it to 26. Started off really well. I didn't start off really well. I started off on 30 and kind of just chipped away it nicely. The last couple of rounds before I got injured, kind of just scuppered, getting anywhere near 25. I went from scoring like under 100 and I just sort of creeping back up over 100, which it's fine. But you know, that could be something I look for next season. For getting to 25, maybe 20 if I can push it. Next is breaking 100 3 times, which I did. That's a big tick. Breaking 100 last year was huge for me because I scored 97 the first time I broke 100, and I think I scored 99 a couple of weeks after. So I was literally scraping under 100. But this year I felt that, you know, if my game could improve, which it did, I could break 100 more than once. And I thought, try and get it to 3. 2 would be great. 3 would be monumentally fantastic. And I did. I broke 100 at where did I break it? Morpeth, Hobson, and I think it was Whitburn where I broke 100. I'm gonna have to check this out. I actually broke it 4 times. So I broke it at Whitburn with 99, broke it at Morpeth with 94, Hobson with 94, and at Newcastle United's golf course I scored a 97. So that's actually not as bad as, that's actually quite good to score under 100 4 times, which to break it once last year was, well, twice last year was class, but to break it 4 times this year, I'm really happy with that. Next was to make 3 birdies. I didn't quite get there. I think I got to 2 birdies. Do you know what? Just to get 1 birdie was quite good, and that's stuff I can work on. It's just not making mistakes and making sure that I can get on. You know, I did notice when I had a couple of lessons with Jeff with my driving and just my overall development, I did notice I started hitting the greens in 2, which I never could be able to do before. I'd be lucky to get there in 3 or 4, but to get there in 2 on some, that's a massive improvement. And I'd imagine once I start getting back into lessons again, the birdies will fall. Maybe not as many, we'll see. Maybe I can target 4 for next season. 3 was probably a bit too ambitious, so I think I got 2. I'm just happy with that. Pick up lessons, which I mentioned before. I started getting driver lessons with Jeff, who fixed a fault at which I noticed I went from hitting a drive so well. Like, I played at Longhurst with Morpeth Town Football Club, and it was a scramble, and I think out of the 18 holes, I think 14 were absolutely, well, I don't know how many 14 was a bit much, but I would say 90% of my drives were absolutely huge, straight, with a tiny bit of fade. They were perfect. And then all of a sudden, that driver game just went. I started slicing the ball, topping the ball, snap hooking the ball. Oh, it was awful. Like, it was just, I couldn't even explain why it was doing that. So I got some, I went to, I think it was Skill Set, and went to see Jeff. I spoke to Jeff, and he was kind of just really nice about things, just how he was he was very approachable, broke things down very easily, and saw the fault straight away, which at the top of the swing I was doing that, which apparently opens the club face. So what I was working on was basically just doing a John Rahm or Dustin Johnson and just trying and just flatten that wrist as much as I could. I'm still working on it. There's other things to work on, but you know, that was a good starting point. And then just before I got injured, but as I got injured, I went to see a golf coach called Bruce at the Sunderland Golf Centre. So I went to pick those things back up again and hopefully improve. Finally, this was kind of a big one for me, was to just give the entire golf bag a shake up. So I've had, the previous golf clubs I had was the Wilson Deep Reds, and I've had them, God, since I think I was at uni. I think I bought them in 2011 when I had the student loan. Went in there, I had no idea what I was looking for. I just wanted a set of golf clubs, so I went in there and bought them. I got the bag as well, which is a carry bag, and just, yeah, like, and driver, I had, you know, a lot of hand-me-downs. I think there was 3 I used. One was a Dunlop, one I think was a Dunlop Smasher, and the other one was a Cleveland Launcher, I think it was, and they got me through golf fine, but I think it got to the point where I thought I just need to update everything, just give the entire bag a refresh. And I saved some cash, and I went to the Golf Factory in Newcastle and got myself a new driver, which was a Callaway Rogue. The irons I got were the TaylorMade Sim Max 2s, I think it is, and I got myself a 3-wood, which was, I can't remember, I'm going to put it up here. It's definitely another TaylorMade. I think it was an Rocket 3-wood, and I also got a new hybrid, which was the Cobra King F9, I think it was. So I totally kitted out the bag. I think I spent in total around £600, £700 in total for everything, and that all came from the Golf Factory. So any of the Golf Factory lads are watching, thank you very much for helping us out and getting us kitted out. I paid for everything, by the way. I wasn't given anything. I traded some clubs in, and I got new clubs. I'm happy. So that was a quick roundup. So hopefully come 2024, if I'm fit and well and everything's going according to plan, I can make some new targets and be a bit more ambitious. But for now, let's talk about winter golf. golf in winter, particularly up here in the northeast of England, can be challenging. The majority of courses are links. There's not many, well, there's some parkland courses, but a lot of the courses up here are quite open. So when you're playing winter golf around here, you've got to accept the fact that poor golf's going to creep in, and you're not always going to score 80, 90, under 100, things like that. For me, I don't mind winter golf too much. I actually quite enjoy playing it. As long as it's not snowing, frosty, or pissing it down with rain, which pretty much is winter golf. I don't play my best golf. I just like being outside in crisp air. The low sun can be a bit of an issue, but I just love winter golf. There's something, I don't know, I just quite enjoy it. So I thought I'd make some targets, some realistic targets over the winter months, just to keep me pretty much focused, not just play golf for the sake of it. So one, and I think this happens to, or most golfers out there would look into, is just focus on the swing mechanics. So I'm gonna look to make some changes, and I've already made those changes. So for me, my current feel is to pull the towel, and that's through Matt Fryer, where I was struggling with topping my irons or just not catching my irons clean. So I watched a video, and he said basically just imagine you're pulling a towel, or you've got a towel quite tight from the top right through the bottom, and that totally changed things. And also to focus on my biggest flaw in my swing is slicing it, and that's basically because I'm going from out to in rather than in to out. So that's another thing I'm going to focus on. And with Bruce, we already talked about making it a slight little change, and it worked. So now I think once I get back into the swing of things, pun fully intended by the way, then we can look at making my swing a lot more tidier, shall we say. On top of that is just to make sure I'm on top of lessons. So that's another goal. So to fix the swing, not fix the swing, but to improve the swing is one target. To keep on top of lessons is another. When I first got lessons with Paul up in Morpeth, that was fantastic to have a set of eyes, just look at what I'm doing, make the tweaks, work on things, and then that's another case for being back in Shields. It's just have another set of eyes, get some data in there as well, because I'm a big fan of data, and just not have as many lessons, because I know I'm not as a beginner as much. So like once a month, once every couple of months, just to tie things over, as long as I've got lessons in the bank. Another target is to just still reach out and play different courses across the northeast. You've seen in the videos that I've made, I've just sprinkled things across the northeast, like Hobson, South Shields, Wallsend, Whitburn, just to get out and just play a couple of golf courses. And some of the golf courses that I have featured in the videos have been quite nice enough to reach out and say, look, if you ever want to play around, give us a shout and you can come play around at our place. And I am going to do that over the winter. I'm going to take the drone out, take the cameras out, and just get a good, proper feel of a golf course around the northeast and just try some different ones. And lastly is to break 100, again, 3 times over winter. I know that because of winter, ball flight, wind, temperature, moisture, it has all that kind of effect on how you play golf, especially when it plugs and the ball won't run as far as what it would over a summer course. But if I can break 100, which I think is a better test over winter than it is summer, I'll be really happy with that. So that's basically just summing up where I've been. The back injury, hopefully I'll be back. Insert Arnie.
I'll be back.
No, don't. That's a copyright ban right there. Just to sort out the back, that's where I've been. Talk about the targets I did for summer and what I've done. Talk about winter, what I'm gonna do or aim for basically. But before I sign off, again, if you could just subscribe to the channel, that'd be fantastic. Another like here and there would be fantastic as well. Get in the comments, that'd be brilliant to see. And enjoy the rest of the summer, and I'll see you in the next video.